Hello friends, you are welcome to our literary channel Academic Domain. Today I am going to discuss the poem A Psalm of Life by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. And the subtitle of the poem is What the Heart of the Young Man Said to the Psalmist. It will be line by line explanation of the poem in English language. And friends, if you haven't subscribed my channel yet, please subscribe it and press the bell icon to get notified my new videos. Please like, share and comment to grow my channel and for the benefits of other people. So these are the points I'm going to cover in this video. It will be about the poet, important works of the poet, about the poem, line by line explanation of the poem, and then while discussing all these points, there will be few points which will be relevant to NET set and GRF exam. So let's discuss few points about the poet. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow was born in 1809 and 1807 and died in 1882. He was an American poet and educator and one of the fireside poets. He studied at Bowdoin College and became a professor at Bowdoin and later at Harvard College. He became the most popular American poet of his day and also had success overseas. His father was a lawyer and maternal grandfather was a general in American Revolutionary War and a member of Congress. He was a traveler, linguist, and a romantic who identified with the great tradition of European literature and thought. I have mentioned only five poetic collections. There are many. So first one is the Voices of the Night, published in 1839. Next one, Ballads and Other Poems, published in 1841. Next one, Psalms and Slavery, published in 1842. And the next one is The Belfry of Bridges and Other Poems, published in 1845. The next one is The Seaside and the Fireside, published in 1850. So these are the poetic collections by H.W. Longfellow. So I have mentioned 2 points about the poem. It is a very inspiring and didactic poem and intending to provide advice and counsel to young men. It tells that our life should be inspiring and a beacon light for the upcoming generations. So friends, now let's discuss the poem line by line. And friends, there are 9 stanzas and one stanza contains 4 lines. So it means there are 9 into 4, 36 lines. So it may be the video may be little lengthy, but I am sure that I will give you my best. The poet says that, "Tell me not, in mournful numbers, life is but an empty dream, for the soul is dead that slumbers, and things are not what they seem." The poet says that tell me not in mournful numbers. Don't tell me in sad song. Don't tell me in mournful numbers, in mournful songs. What? That life is but an empty dream. Don't tell me in a sad numbers, in a sad song, in a sad way that life is an empty dream. Life is not an empty dream. So don't tell me that life is an empty dream. For the soul is dead that slumbers. So when someone dies and we think that the story is over, the episode is over, we think that he is died. But according to the poet, when for the soul is dead that slumbers, when we think that someone is dead, it is not dead, but it is a nap. It is a just it is a nap, we can say. All right. So for the soul is dead that slumbers. So when we see that someone is died, when we see that someone is dead, then it doesn't mean that the episode is over. It doesn't mean that he is dead. It doesn't mean that his story is over. So but according to the poet, it is only a slumber. It is only a nap. It is only a short sleep, and things are what they are, and things are not what they seem. And the poet says that when we see that someone is dead, we think that the episode is over, we think that his life is over, but it is not, and things are not, it is not like that what they seem. Whatever is seen, it is not like that. So according to the poet that our duty, our responsibility is not over once we are dead. Now let's go for the second stanza. Life is real, life is earnest, and the grave is not its goal. Dust thou art, to dust returns, was not spoken of the soul. So the poet says that life is real, life is earnest. Our life is real, our life is earnest, our life is serious. So don't take it easy. And the grave is not its goal, and the grave is not the goal of our life, and the grave is not the end of our life, as he told in the earlier stanza, in the first stanza, that everything is not over with the death. The episode, the story, or the responsibility of a human being is not over with the death. So in the same way, he is telling that grave is not its goal. So the grave is not the goal of our life. Grave is not the end of our life. Dust thou art, to dust returnest, was not spoken of the soul. As it is said that we are made of dust, and in the end we will return to the dust. So the poet says that it may be for the body, it may be for the human body, but it is not for the human soul. And our soul doesn't, that mix with the dust. So dust thou art, to dust returns, was not spoken of the soul. So that our body is made of dust, and it will return to the dust, but it is not for the soul. Our soul will not meet to the dust, our soul will not mix with the dust. Now the third stanza. Not enjoyment, not sorrow, is our destined end our way, but to act that each tomorrow find us further than today. So the poet says that not enjoyment, not sorrow is our destined end of our way. So not enjoyment, not sorrow. The purpose of our life is not should be enjoyment or the sorrow. We should not be, overjoyed. We should not be over sorrowed. Is our destined end our way? Our way of life or our fate should not be only about the enjoyment and about the sorrow. Our thinking should not be about the enjoyment or about the sorrow. We should think beyond that. We should do something beyond the enjoyment and beyond the sorrow. We should not think always about the enjoyment and about the sorrow. But what? But to act that each tomorrow. But we should act in a way that each tomorrow find us farther than today. But we should act in such a way, we should do our responsibility in such a way that we should develop ourselves in each tomorrow better than our today. It means when we see tomorrow, we should find ourselves in a better status, in a better situation. It means our each tomorrow should be better than our each today. It means we should do our work in such a way that our each tomorrow should be better than each today, and we should not think much about the enjoyment and our sorrow. Now the fourth stanza. Art is long and time is fleeting, and our hearts, though stout and brave, still like muffled drums are beating funeral marches to the grave. Art is long and life is fleeting. Art is long means we can say that our tasks, our duties, our responsibilities, that we have so many duties, we have so many responsibilities in our lifetime, and time is fleeting, and our time is fleeting, our time is getting away, our time is passing very quickly, and we have a lot of work to do, we have so many responsibilities to do, and our hearts, though stout and brave, and our hearts, though it is a very stout, it is a very strong, and it is a very brave, still like muffled drums are beating. And but our heart, it may be very strong, it is very brave, but it's beating. How? Like a muffled drum. Our heart is beating like a drum. That drum which is muffled in a muffled sound. It means that in a waning sound, it means that in a vague sound, it means that the sound of the drum is getting slower, getting slower. So here the poet is trying to say that our heart may be very strong, our heart may be very brave, but slowly we are moving towards our end. Slowly we are moving towards our grave, because our heart is like a drum, and the sound of the drum is waning now. The sound of the drum is lowering now. And what happened? Beating funeral marches to the grave, and we are marching slowly towards the grave. It means, as the poet says in the first line, that time is fleeting. So the same way he is telling here that time is fleeting, and we are marching towards the grave. We are marching towards the end of our life. So before the end of our life, we should do something so that people should remember us. Now the next stanza. In the world's broad field of battle, in the bog of life, be not like dumb driven cattle, be a hero in the strife. The poet says that in the vast broad field of life, world is like a broad field of battle. So the world is like a battlefield, and is a very broad, very vast field of battle. And our life is like a biog. In the biog of life, biog means that temporary shelter of the soldier. So our life is also like a temporary shelter. So the world is a temporary shelter for we people. The world is a short shelter for we people. So in that short time, in that temporary shelter, what we should do? We should not be like dumb driven cattle. We should not be like sheep. We should not be like dumb driven cattle. We know that if one ship goes to one direction, others will follow without any others will follow blindly. So in the same way, the poet is telling that in this short life, in this short shelter of battlefield, we should not be like a dumb driven cattle. We should not be like animals. We should not follow others blindly, but we should be hero in the strife. And in this battle, in the strife, in the struggle, in the battle of our life, we should be a soldier, we should be a hero, we should not be a dumb driven cattle. Stanza 6 now. Trust no future, however pleasant. Let the dead past bury its dead. Act, act in living present, heart within and God overhead. Trust no future, however pleasant. We should not trust much about our future. It may be very pleasant, it may seem very pleasant, it may seem that we have a very bright future, but we should not trust. We don't know what will happen. So we should never trust much about our future. Let the dead past bury its dead, and the past is gone; it cannot come again. So let it be dead now. So don't think about the past. So here the poet is trying to say that we should not think about the future so much, or we should not think about the past, because we don't know what will happen in the future. Our future may seem very bright, but we should never trust it. We don't know what will happen, and we cannot get back our past. So we should not live in our past. We should bury our past. Act in living present. But what we should do? We should act in a living present. We should live in the present, and we should do our best in the present. We should give our best in the present. Heart within and God's overhead. Heart within, we should be brave, we should be self confident. So with a self confidence we should do our duties in the present time, and we should that believe in God. Now, stanza 7. Lives of great men all remind us we can make our lives sublime, and departing leave behind us footprints on the sands of time. So, lives of great men all remind us. We know when we read the biographies of great men, of great people, they all remind us. Their lives remind us what? We can make our lives sublime. We can also make our lives great. We can also make our lives sublime, our lives great, like other people, like the great people. And departing when we are leaving this world, when we are departing from this world, when we are dead, leave behind us. We should leave behind us what? Footprints on the sands of time. And when we are leaving from this world, when we are leaving this world, or when we are departing from this world, when we are dying, we should make our life in such a way that we should leave our footprints, we should leave such mark on the sand of times. It means it doesn't mean that when we are dead our story is over. It doesn't mean that when we are dead our episode, our responsibility is over, but we should do such great thing in our lifetime that we should be remembered even after our death. So the poet is telling that we should leaving behind us footprints on the sands of time. When we are dead, when we are departing from this world, when we are dying, we should leave behind us footprints on the sands of time. We should leave our mark. We should leave our footprints on the sands of time. We should leave our footprints in the time, in the sense of our great works, so that other people should follow us. Now the next stanza. Footprints that perhaps another, sailing over life's solemn main, a forlorn and shipwrecked brother, seeing shall take heart again. And we should leave such footprints that perhaps another, sailing over life's solemn main. We should leave such footprints after our death that perhaps another, some other person after our death, some other human being, some other person, that from our next generation, from our upcoming generation, sailing over life's solemn main. Sailing, who is sailing over the life, over the ocean of life. Main means ocean, we can say here. Solemn means solemn, serious. So here the poet is trying to say that we should leave such footprints, we should leave such marks after our death, that if somebody who is sailing on on the ocean of the life, who is if someone who is sailing in the ocean of the life and forlorn and shipwrecked brother, and suppose he is alone in the ocean and his ship is wrecked, his ship met an accident, there is a tumult, there is a cyclone, there is a storm in the ocean. So in such situation, in such a condition, that somebody, that another fellow who is in the ship, or who is in the ship of the life, here the life, the ocean, the life is compared with the ocean. So the poet is telling that we should leave our footprints in such a way that if somebody who is very much that in depression, or dejected, or rejected, or for whom the life became an absurd, if such person sees our footprints, then what should he do? Shall take heart again, and he should be encouraged when he reads our life. He should be encouraged. He should take heart again when he see our footprints. that the person who is in depression, the person who is very sad, the person who is fed up of his life, he should take heart again. He should be encouraged. He should be inspired when he should read about us, when he should know us, that how we had lived our life. So the last stanza now. Let us then be up and doing, with a heart for any fate, still achieving, still pursuing, learn to labor and to wait. Let us then be up and doing. So now in the end, the poet says that then let us be up and doing. Let's do our duties. Let's do our responsibilities. Let's do what we can best. Let's do what we can do best in our lifetime, with the heart for any fate, without thinking of any fate, without thinking of any result. Let's do our duty should be, to do our best, without thinking anything about the fate, about thinking anything about the result. Still achieving, still pursuing. What is our duty? Our duty is still achieving and still pursuing. Our duty is to do our best. Our What is our responsibility is to fulfill our duty, and to learn to labor and to wait. And we should learn that how to work hard, and we should learn that how to wait for the result. But we should never think about the result. We should never be always, optimist or pessimist. We should not think about the result at all. But what is our duty? Our duty is to do our duties as best as possible.